Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Game Room. If this happens to be the first video that you've seen in our Metal Gear series, please click here to check out Part 1 and Part 2. We have so much to cover here in Part 3 that we're going to just jump into the story right where Part 2 leaves off. Alright, ready? Take a deep breath, and here we go. When we last left Big Boss, he was secretly creating a new military nation called Outer Heaven. While creating Outer Heaven in secret, he becomes the head of his old unit, Foxhound. The Patriots find out that Outer Heaven is building a Metal Gear called TX-55 in order to take on the Patriots. So in order to make sure that they do not become a threat, the Patriots contact Foxhound to investigate Outer Heaven and destroy the Metal Gear. Yes, the Patriots want Big Boss's unit, Foxhound, to investigate Outer Heaven, which the Patriots do not realize is also under Big Boss's control. Big Boss, now pulling all the strings, attempts to use Foxhound to delay the discovery of the Metal Gear until it is completed and ready to attack the Patriots. Big Boss sends one of Foxhound's top agents, Frank Yeager, who now goes by the codename Gray Fox, to investigate Outer Heaven. Gray Fox ends up being captured in Outer Heaven, and so Big Boss sends another very promising rookie soldier to rescue Gray Fox named Solid Snake. Yes, Big Boss sent his clone, and no, Solid Snake does not know that Big Boss is his dad. As Solid gets close to completing his mission, Big Boss is revealed as the leader of Outer Heaven. Big Boss also tells Solid Snake that he took back control of Foxhound to delay Solid and finish building the Metal Gear. Solid Snake ends up destroying the Metal Gear, which activates Outer Heaven's self-destruct sequence. Solid Snake has to run out of the base before it blows, but runs into Big Boss. Big Boss tells Snake that his plan was to use the rookie Solid Snake to report false data. But by destroying the Metal Gear, he has simply gone too far, and if Big Boss is to die, then Solid Snake will have to die with him. Solid Snake ends up having to fight Big Boss and is able to defeat him and escape Outer Heaven just as the base blows up. Even though Solid Snake kills Big Boss, he does not realize until much later that it was not the true Big Boss that he had fought, but was actually the second Big Boss, who goes by the codename Venom Snake, who is actually Big Boss's old medic, who now believes he is actually Big Boss. Yeah, that part makes no sense unless you watch Part 2 of our series. Just saying. With Big Boss now dead, Roy Campbell replaces him as the leader of Foxhound. 4 years later, in 1999, a world crisis for oil was taking place, and a scientist by the name of Dr. Keo Marv developed a synthetic oil that would eliminate the crisis. Dr. Marv is kidnapped by soldiers and taken to Zanzibar land. These soldiers keep Dr. Marv hostage in order to gain control of the oil and deploy Metal Gears in order to keep Marv from escaping and from someone rescuing him. Foxhound is called on once again, and so Roy Campbell sends Solid Snake to Zanzibar land to rescue Dr. Marv. Solid Snake learns that Big Boss is alive, still not knowing that it was not the real Big Boss that he killed at Outer Heaven, and that Dr. Marv is actually dead. Solid Snake locates the formula for the synthetic oil and then is attacked by a Metal Gear being piloted by Gray Fox. Solid Snake ends up defeating Gray Fox, and as Gray Fox is left dying, Solid Snake asks him why had he attacked Solid Snake. Gray Fox reveals that his loyalty to Big Boss stretches farther than any unit that Gray Fox has ever been a member of, because Big Boss had saved his life twice, once when he was a child soldier, and once when he was brainwashed as Null. Gray Fox said that all that is left for him is war, and that he was born on a battlefield, and now he must die on a battlefield. Solid Snake tells Gray Fox that he promises that he will not turn out to be like Gray Fox, and then watches Gray Fox die. When Solid Snake leaves Gray Fox, he runs into Big Boss. Snake has no weapons, and has no way to fight Big Boss until he finds an aerosol can and a lighter, and he lures Big Boss around a corner, where he uses the lighter and aerosol can to catch Big Boss on fire. And the second Big Boss is now killed. The Patriots retrieve Big Boss's body, and with the help of nanomachines are able to put Big Boss into a cryogenic coma and preserve his DNA to later be used to enhance future soldiers. Ocelot, not agreeing with the plans of the Patriots to preserve Big Boss, for the first time begins to plot against the Patriots and Major Zero. In the year 2000, Roy Campbell leaves Foxhound and Liquid Snake joins Foxhound and takes over as the leader. Major Zero, getting older in age and sickly due to the parasites that Skullface infected him with, begins getting paranoid and refuses to let anyone take control of the Patriots. So to preserve the Patriots, he creates an advanced AI called the System to control the Patriots. The System is made up of 4 core units and a 5th core unit to control them all. In 2003, Dr. Naomi Hunter developed a virus called FOXDIE, and she created this virus in order to infect and kill the person responsible for her parents' death as a child. She did not know that it was her adopted father, Frank Yeager, also known as Gray Fox, that had killed her parents. Then, when Solid Snake kills Gray Fox in battle, Naomi, feeling that Solid Snake had just killed her father again, decides to use the virus on Snake. Foxhound, now led by Liquid Snake, takes over the Alaskan island of Shadow Moses. They have a Metal Gear named Rex and are threatening the U.S. with a nuclear strike if they do not deliver Foxhound the body of Big Boss and $1 billion within 24 hours. Roy Campbell, no longer a part of Foxhound, contacts Solid Snake and asks him again to go to Shadow Moses and see if Liquid Snake really has nuclear capabilities. Before Solid Snake leaves for Shadow Moses, Naomi Hunter infects him with the FOXDIE virus. The virus is programmed to kill anyone with Solid Snake's genes, but with one wild card in place. It will kill them at a completely random time. He could live for a few days, or maybe even a few years, but the fact is, one day, the virus will kill him. Solid Snake learns that Foxhound has a Metal Gear called Metal Gear Rex that has nuclear capabilities and is able to attack the U.S. Solid Snake runs into Ocelot, who is now working with Liquid Snake and Foxhound to destroy the Patriots. Ocelot challenges Solid Snake to a gun duel, and at the end of the fight, a cyborg ninja, who is later revealed to be a resurrected Gray Fox with a cyborg body, because apparently that happens, appears and cuts off Ocelot's arm. Solid Snake ends up rescuing Meryl Silverburr, Roy Campbell's daughter, and Dr. Hal Emmerich, who is the son of Dr. Huey Emmerich. Hal Emmerich, also known as Otacon, learning from his father on how to create Metal Gear, developed Metal Gear Rex, but did not know that it held a nuclear weapon. After learning this, he decided to join Solid Snake to destroy Rex. Solid Snake finds Metal Gear Rex, and it is currently being piloted by Liquid Snake. Gray Fox shows up again and destroys a part of Rex, but then Rex crushes and kills Gray Fox / Cyborg Ninja. Solid Snake destroys Metal Gear Rex and fights Liquid and throws him off of Metal Gear Rex. And is presumed dead. Snake and Meryl hop into a jeep to escape Shadow Moses Island, but are chased down by none other than Liquid, who survived the fall from Metal Gear Rex. After chasing down Snake and Meryl, Liquid crashes into their jeep. Both jeeps wreck, and Liquid, badly hurt, approaches Snake with a gun to put an end to this fight. When all of a sudden, Liquid's body begins to break down, and Solid Snake realizes that the FOXDIE that is within inside him has now affected Liquid, who has the exact same genes as himself, but the wild card for Liquid was immediate, and Liquid Snake dies to FOXDIE.
Fox? Die.
Ocelot, no longer having an arm, takes Liquid Snake's dead body and has Liquid Snake's arm grafted to Ocelot's. Over time, Liquid appears to be poisoning Ocelot's mind through the DNA that remains in his arm. Yeah, I didn't say that everything about this story made sense. Anyways, so that takes us to Metal Gear Solid 2, and honestly, We're going to skip past this game because it doesn't really progress the story that we've told so far, and so I'm just going to explain what you need to know from the game. First, there's a Metal Gear called Metal Gear Ray that is being transported through the U.S., and Snake attempts to photograph and reveal the presence of Metal Gear Ray, but ends up being in the wrong place at the wrong time and gets framed for taking over a U.S. tanker, blowing it up, and killing everyone. Talk about a rough day. Anyways, Solid Snake has to go into hiding for most of the game, and then you find out that there's a huge Metal Gear called Arsenal Gear that holds the Patriots AI created by Major Zero. The Patriots complete the Arsenal Gear battleship that is eventually stolen by Ocelot, who is still poisoned by Liquid's arm, and he names the battleship Outer Haven as a homage to Big Boss and Outer Heaven, which was the original idea of a free military that is not controlled by any one nation. Liquid hides the battleship back at Shadow Moses Island, knowing that no one would ever think to look for it there. Now it is the year 2014. Liquid has fully taken over Ocelot's mind, and now he goes by the name Liquid Ocelot. Solid Snake, now seeing the full effects of the accelerated aging from the cloning process, looks like he's in his 60s or his 70s, even though he is really only 42 years old. He now goes by the name Old Snake. The entire world is now controlled by PMCs, that's private military companies made up of augmented soldiers due to nanomachines that are monitored by the Patriots AI, the system. The largest PMC is led by Liquid Ocelot. The UN calls for the assassination of Liquid Ocelot, and Roy Campbell again calls Solid Snake out of retirement for one last mission. Solid Snake finds out that Liquid is holding Naomi Hunter captive, and so Solid Snake rescues Naomi. Naomi does some tests on Solid Snake and finds out that the fox dye within him is mutating and will soon be able to infect others that do not have his genes. She estimates that he has only a few months to live before he would literally be a walking biological weapon to anyone he encounters. Naomi also reveals to Snake that Liquid is needing the remains of Big Boss that are still being kept in a cryogenic state with the help of nanomachines in order to use Big Boss's biometric data to access the Patriots' master AI to take control of all the AIs, granting Liquid access to all the nanomachines in all the PMCs around the entire world, making Liquid the leader of every military in the world. Liquid Snake finally obtains Big Boss's body and is able to shut down all the PMCs in the world except for his own PMC. He now sets his sights to destroy the Patriots, and to do this, he would need a nuclear weapon. However, the only nuclear weapon not controlled by the Patriots is the badly damaged Metal Gear Rex that is still on Shadow Moses Island from when Snake destroyed it. Solid Snake, chasing after Liquid Ocelot, sets off for Shadow Moses Island in a race to get to Metal Gear Rex. Solid Snake is able to gain control of Rex first, and so Liquid Ocelot has to flee and takes control of Metal Gear Ray that is also being kept at Shadow Moses Island. And a grand-scale Gundam-style mech battle ensues, with Solid Snake inside Metal Gear Rex and Liquid Ocelot inside Metal Gear Ray. Solid Snake is able to defeat Liquid, and the fight ends with both Liquid and Solid being badly injured. Liquid retreats to the battleship Outer Haven that contains the Patriots AI system, and Snake follows after him. Snake is armed with a new computer virus created by Naomi called FOXALIVE, and when entered into the Patriots AI, will destroy the AI system from within. Solid Snake decides that he is the only one who can destroy the Patriots once and for all. The system was protected by a hallway that emitted continuous high dosage of microwaves. Any organic matter that entered this hallway would have just mere seconds before being destroyed. Solid Snake, knowing that he was the world's only hope, enters the microwave hallway knowing this was going to be a one-way trip. He is able to sustain more microwaves than any person would be capable of doing, proving that he was indeed the legendary hero, and he is able to infect the Patriot system with the FOXALIVE virus.
We did it! It's over.
I did it! Johnny! Snake.
The virus destroys the system and in turn destroys all the nanomachines in the world, and for the first time since 1918, the world would be free of the Patriots. Snake runs into Liquid Ocelot one last time, where Liquid Ocelot reveals that his plan all along had been to destroy the Patriots' AI. But since Solid Snake had done this for him, there was but one last thing to do: determine once and for all which Snake would be the true victor on the battlefield, Solid or Liquid. That leads us to a final hand-to-hand fight between Solid Snake and Liquid Ocelot as a battle of honor to the death. Solid Snake wins. With the Patriots destroyed and the FOXDIE virus about to kill him, Solid Snake returns to the US and visits the grave of Big Boss. Solid Snake, knowing that he would soon become a weapon to those around him due to the FOXDIE virus, decides to commit suicide and puts his pistol in his mouth. And just before he pulls the trigger, he hears a familiar voice.
That's right. Good. No need for you to go just yet. It's been a long time, Snake.
He turns around to see Big Boss standing behind him. Big Boss tells Solid Snake that when he had destroyed all the nanomachines, that included the ones the Patriots had used to keep Big Boss in a cryogenic state. However, the nanomachines had repaired so much damage, Big Boss was able to fully recover. Big Boss then turns around and walks over to an old, decrepit man in a wheelchair who's living on life support and reveals to Snake that this was Major Zero. Big Boss explains the entire story that has led up to this point, and Big Boss explains that he is not the bad guy and that everything that had happened was due to Zero. Big Boss then turns off Zero's life support, and Zero dies. Big Boss, now feeling weak, tells Solid Snake that this will be the third time he will erase Big Boss. Solid Snake does not know what he means, so Big Boss tells Solid Snake that the FOXDIE within Solid Snake has infected Big Boss, and it was quickly killing him. Big Boss also goes on to explain to Snake that the FOXDIE that had mutated and was soon to turn into a biological weapon is in fact being destroyed by the original FOXDIE, and therefore the mutagens will soon be completely gone, and that Solid Snake will not, in fact, become a weapon to those around him, but that Solid Snake could continue to live for as much time until his wild card activates within the FOXDIE and finally killing him. Big Boss, now laying on the ground dying, in his final words of wisdom, begs Solid Snake to not waste his remaining days fighting, but to live the rest of his life in peace.
You have been given freedom. Freedom to be outside. You are nobody's tool now. No one's toy. You are no longer a seed of war. It's time for you to see the outside world with your own eyes. Live for yourself.
After a few more tear-jerking moments, Big Boss succumbs to the FOXDIE virus and dies in Solid Snake's arms. So Snake then contacts Otacon, and they decide that they would go live in peace until Solid Snake would eventually die, and then Otacon would pass on his story to the world. And with that, finally, this brings us to the end of the Metal Gear Saga. Even though the story is hard to follow at times, this has been one of the most gratifying game series to play as well as research for these videos. A lot of the times it was hard to tell who the good guy was and who the bad guy was. And that seems to be true in our world today. But the lesson we can learn from Solid Snake is that true happiness comes from the peace that freedom brings, and it is the fight for freedom that keeps us all going. So that just about does it for this series. There's a lot of side story and characters that I was not able to cover in this series simply due to time constraints. But if you would like to read more on the story, check out the website MetalGearTimeline.com. The link will be in the description below, and this website was a fan-created site to help explain much of what we discussed through this video, and even other things that we did not get a chance to cover. If you have made it through all 3 of these Metal Gear videos, I want to thank you so much. Please leave a comment below to show your support for the series. This has been the largest project that I've ever attempted, and I have to say it has been a very rewarding journey. Thanks again for watching, and remember until next time, to stay awesome. SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs was released in August of 2002 as a PlayStation 2 exclusive by the third-party developer Zipper Interactive. This game was meant to be a tactical, team-based third-person shooter for the PlayStation 2 and later editions on the PlayStation 3. At the time that SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs, the first game in the franchise, came out, it was revolutionary in design.